Prostitution is known as the oldest occupation, and just like in other parts of the world, it has existed in the city of Amsterdam for as long as history can remember. Located in the middle of the city, the Wallen red light district is known for its availability of erotic services and is just one of many red light districts in the Netherlands. Throughout my 5 weeks in Amsterdam, I visited this area many times and made this video to educate people on the realities of sex work and the red light district in Amsterdam. In the Netherlands, much like other places around the world, the government has painted an incorrect image of sex workers being dirty or in need of saving. These false portrayals lead to the stigmatization of sex workers and is the reason people don't consider sex work to be an acceptable occupation. In this video, I will be mainly focusing on window prostitution, but there are many different kinds of sex work, such as internet pornography, private houses, and escort services. So what exactly is window prostitution? Window prostitution is a type of sex work that involves standing in a window brothel and displaying oneself in order to advertise sexual services and attract clients walking by on the street. You may be wondering why these areas are called red light districts. Red light district gets its name from the red lights in the windows of certain buildings to signify the services of a sex worker standing in them. In some cases, there are blue lights, which indicate that a transsexual woman works inside that particular window. Although each type of sex work has a different way of functioning, window sex workers are given a great deal of freedom with their services, which many people don't realize. They have the ability to choose what days they work and for how long, how much they charge, and what services they will provide and to whom. In the Netherlands, prostitution is legal, which means it is allowed, but it is heavily regulated by the government, and both sex workers and brothel owners must adhere to a strict set of laws. For window sex workers, one must provide a passport to prove they are a member of the European Union, be working on their own free will, and be 18 years or older. Brothel owners must ensure that all sex workers employed in their windows meet the criteria I just listed, as well as submit to background checks, keep records of the sex workers that rent their windows, and follow the city's zoning requirements. However, not all countries around the world are nearly as tolerant of prostitution as the Netherlands is. In Sweden, on the other hand, prostitution is illegal and the buyer is prosecuted because the government views the sex workers as victims in need of saving. Other countries such as Romania prosecute the sex worker, and neither of these models are in the best interest of the sex worker themselves. In New Zealand, sex work is decriminalized, meaning that sex workers can work without many of the restrictions that exist in Amsterdam. This has been deemed the best policy regarding sex work by sex workers since it gives them the most autonomy over their own bodies. Despite the fact that the current model regarding sex work in Amsterdam is not an ideal one, it is not the only legal battle sex workers have to face. Project 1012 is a piece of legislation that was first proposed in 2007 and as of 2016 is underway and irreversible. This project aims to gentrify the red light district and build an affluent tourist trap, with claims that the purpose is to make the area safer. Named after the area code of the red light district, it is designed to shut down 2/3 of the existing brothels in Amsterdam. The problem with this is that window sex workers are losing their facilities, and with only 1/3 of the brothels remaining, many sex workers have no place to go. Because of the stigma surrounding sex work, it can be hard for these women to find a new job, and employers may even dismiss their past experiences. With all of these factors attempting to strip sex workers of their human, social, and political rights, it is important to have organizations that act in the sex workers' best interests and provide them with information and resources. Proud was founded in 2015 both by and for people involved in sex work. It works closely with sex workers all over the Netherlands, but is heavily involved in politics and field work. Keep in mind, however, it is not a charity organization, but an information center. The mission of Proud can be reflected in this quote from the Proud chairwoman. "Sex workers are human beings. We're normal people. We're people with jobs and partners and families and hopes and dreams and fears, and we are in your community and we would like to be accepted for who we are." Similar to Proud, the Red Umbrella Fund is an organization run by and for sex workers that provides monetary grants for organizations around the world so that they may effectively speak out and address the human rights violations that many sex workers experience. The Prostitute Information Center, or PIC, is located inside the Red Light District and is another resource for sex workers, but also for people such as tourists and students. It allows people to have a cup of coffee and talk with a sex worker or go on a guided tour around the Red Light District. In her book, Mariska Mayor, the founder of both the PIC and Proud, said, "Being an ex-prostitute is more difficult than living the life. People's prejudices and the many negative ideas they have about this profession and of the people who do this work can stick to you like glue for the rest of your life." To learn more about any of these organizations, you can visit the websites listed here. Now that you have a little bit of knowledge about sex work and sex workers in Amsterdam, I hope you will ruminate on your current views of the topic and rethink any opinions you previously had towards sex workers. A huge thank you goes out to all of the amazing sex workers and members of PIC and Proud that assisted me with this project. You're such amazing people, and I'm so honored to have learned so much valuable information from all of you.